Sin contacts Delta Team to check on their progress, but the silence on the other end confirms his worst fear. They're all dead. One of his men nervously reminds him that he had assured everyone that Vader was completely immobilized, helpless. Sin grimaces at the reminder and checks his cybernetic arm, confirming that Vader is still immobilized and can't move. But despite his immobility, it becomes painfully clear that Vader doesn't need to move. His mastery of the Force is keeping everyone at bay, preventing any approach. Frustrated, Sin suggests a new plan. They'll destroy the facility and salvage Vader's armor from the wreckage later. The group boards a ship and begins bombarding the structure housing Vader. Explosions rock the area as they rain fire down on the facility. But as they continue the assault, the pilot suddenly struggles with the controls. The ship jerks violently, and everyone aboard quickly realizes what's happening. Vader is using the Force to seize control of the ship. Panic sets in as the ship spirals out of control. With a terrifying crash, the shuttle slams into the ground, leaving Sin and his team battered and barely alive. Sin pulls himself up from the wreckage, coughing and groaning. He checks the status of his cybernetic arm. Its damage and the control circuits are flickering erratically. One of his men shouts at his movement ahead, their voice trembling. "What do we do, Sin?" they ask. Sin doesn't answer immediately. His eyes fix on the fiery smoke rising from the wreckage. Slowly, a shadow emerges. Vader, unyielding, a menacing figure walking towards them through the flames. In awe and dread, Sin mutters almost to himself, "My father was right. Vader is magnificent." A few of Sin's crew mustered the courage to fight back, aiming their weapons at Vader. But their defiance is short-lived. With a wave of his hand, Vader uses the Force to hurl debris, shattered equipment, and flaming wreckage at them. One of Sin's men is dragged into the fire, screaming in agony. His final words are directed at Sin and filled with rage. "This is all your fault." Two other crewmates stumble forward from the wreckage, the faces twisted with rage. "You brought him here," one yells. "This is on you," the other sneers. "At least we can kill you before he gets us." Before they can act, both men clutch at their throats, gasping for air as Vader steps forward. The Sith Lord raises a hand, choking the life out of them with the Force. Calmly, Vader extends his other hand, pulling his lightsaber from Sin's belt to his palm, igniting the crimson blade. Vader swiftly cuts the two men down without a second glance. Vader turns his gaze to Sin, his voice cold and unyielding. "You failed, Sin. You were never more than your father's son, and a collection of second-rate parts. I am no man's son." Sin, trembling but defiant, glares at Vader. "You can gloat all you want, but I beat you. I found a flaw in your armor. Whatever you do to me won't compare to what I did to you." Vader's response is immediate. Sin's throat tightens as the Force chokes him and everything goes dark. When Sin waits, he's disoriented, barely able to move. He struggles to sit up, but his body is pinned to the ground by an unseen force. Vader looms over him, unmoving, his voice cutting through the silence like a blade. "Your motor functions have been neutralized," Vader explains, "but your neural receptors remain intact. You can still hear me and feel what's about to happen." Sin's eyes widen in horror as Vader continues. The flaw you have uncovered will be corrected. You think your systems are superior to mine. You are mistaken." Vader steps closer, his presence overwhelming. Your greatest failure wasn't in underestimating me. It was in failing to grasp the truth. I am Vader, and you are not." From the shadows, small skittering creatures emerge, crawling over Sin's immobilized body. Sin's muffled screams echo as Vader watches, callously indifferent to the horrors unfolding before him.